Okay, so I'm going to take a few minutes here to share what I think is a real game changer in terms of a strategy for figuring out whether the protein to calorie count in a product that you're holding in your hand at the grocery store is good for you or it's not. It's called the add a zero technique. It's honestly the simplest way I can think of or I've ever seen to be able to quickly establish whether that product, again, that's in your hand is going to be healthy and a good choice for you, or if it's a low yield ratio of good to bad. So this is a really good one. Okay guys, so here it is, the 5-second add a zero hack. It's super simple. There's no need for a calculator. You're just gonna grab any food at the grocery store, flip it over to the nutrition label, sometimes it's on the side, and find the protein. You're then gonna add a zero, and then you're gonna take that number, it'll be 120, and you wanna compare it to the calories. If the protein number here is less than the calories number, that's a red flag. It means it's not a good protein source. It means 50% in this case of the calories are coming from fat and from sugar. All right, so I'm gonna do this real quick before the refrigerator alarm goes off on me and drives me crazy. So I just wanna show a couple protein sources. This is one that my wife loves. She has tons of them, has them every day at work. They're 18 grams of protein, which is a good protein count, but it's not a really great calorie comparison. So if we're using that process I'm trying to show you guys, 18 grams of protein turns into 180, calories are 240. It's not the best count in terms of calories to protein, but they do the job for her. They're still good. They're still 18 grams of protein. So, you know, sometimes you take with the good with the bad to get what you need. Cottage cheese is gonna be a really good one. So you're gonna take the 11 grams, add a zero, that's 110. The calorie count is 100. So in this case, that's a good ratio. You've got more protein than you do calories. Ratios are great. So you got 25 here and 170 for calories with, what do we got? 25 for grams. So that add a 0 to 25, there's my alarm, you get 250. Put that over by the 170, and this is an amazingly good source of protein. Not only that, but it's whey protein. So it's a really good source of it. It's not a vegetable protein or anything that's a little harder to digest. So really good one here with cottage cheese. So one here. It's not your fault, right? You walk into a grocery store and you're just bombarded with colors and shiny boxes and starbursts that say high in protein and heart healthy and new and improved. And it's difficult to know what's real and what's not. You know, I would say basically don't fall for the hype. Turn the box around. Here's one more example just for the sake of comparison. You got two packages on the shelf together that look very, very similar, right? They both say high protein chips and they give the protein count and so forth and use the same color patterns and try to reach you the same way. But the difference is if you flip them around, is where you can figure out what's actually going on. So this has 19 grams of protein and it has 140 calories. So if you make the 19, add a zero and turn it into 190, it is much higher than 140. Therefore, that is a very good source of protein. You go over here to the one right next to it that you might just as easily have grabbed, and you've got 14 grams of protein and 200 calories. So you add a zero, that's 140. That does not bode well against the 200 calories. So again, two seemingly identical products. One is good for you, one is not. All right, guys, so I'm gonna end it there. I had a couple issues with editing that didn't look real good as I looked through this, but I'm working on it, trying to get a little better at it. So if you can like and subscribe, I'm gonna catch up with you in the next one.